Sound speed.
Marker.
Mark at
Marker.
74, take it.
Marker. Action!
Not too much is written about slavery in the West Indies. We hear of slavery, we hear about slavery in America, and so on. But not very frequent that we hear stories about the West Indies, slavery in the West Indies. Although, in the West Indies, one of the largest movement of people from Africa, later from India and so on, took place into the West Indies. And I thought to myself that there's a lot of storytelling here to bring these characters and make them interesting and so on. I decided a docudrama would perhaps be the best way of weaving all this information about indentureship, about slavery, about the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade of 1807, about what happened after Britain sort of put these three places together, that is Berbice, Demerara, and Essequibo, into what was known as British Guiana, as the British Parliament sort of brought this system now called apprenticeship to wean the slaves away from plantation life, to wean them away from slavery. Representing the British public would be the missionaries who would go to these areas, the Caribbean, the West Indies, and they will find what was happening. They would console the slaves or those in the period of apprenticeship after abolition of slavery, 1834. You would think that the British planters would sort of toe the line, but now comes another form of slavery, this time known as Indian indentureship. Indentureship was not new to the world. Europeans were also indentured. As history would have it, John Gladstone, the merchant from Liverpool, he would send a ship with his field hands to bring back the Indians to the West Indies, to the Caribbean, Guyana to be specific.
Gladstone wrote, "I was hoping your good offices will be able to induce and ship able-bodied coolies to come and labor on our plantations in British Guiana. 1 female to 10 men would be enough for cooking, cleaning, and also labor alongside the men. It is of great importance to us that the coolies be used as a set-off for when and if the black population is lost on the colony. We imported the Portuguese, and their arrival on our plantations was already an immediate threat to the blacks. However, tropical diseases are wiping them out, one by one. I should engage our ships to sail to India with our plantation driver, David Youngblood, and a few field hands. They will accompany him and the coolies from India to British Guiana. Very truly yours, John Gladstone, Liverpool."
The Indians, on their part, they did not know what was happening on this colony. They were promised they are going to the land of El Dorado, the city of gold. They were promised that they would have lots to eat, good working conditions, hospitals, schools. They would make money. They would go back to India. They would get their children married. They'll have money for dowry and so on.
I'm going to tell you about a place. There is a lot of gold. You should go there.
How can we leave our homes?
Can you do it?
I can't go. I have to get my daughters married.
With what? You have gold. You have cows. Then, who will marry your daughters? What dowry will you give? Tell me. None of you have heard of El Dorado?